Okay, welcome to another important lesson for those of you in the mastermind. And I've got William. William was teaching another lesson, so you're familiar with him. And he brought a top technologist, investment banker, Ben Greenberg. And we're going to talk about something. I want to get a little more advanced. Some of you are already advanced. So fundamental analysis. Now, we were just kind of laughing before.
Doesn't totally exist.
It doesn't totally exist, because usually when you talk about fundamental analysis, you're talking about the coupon value on a bond, or you're talking about what you expect the dividends to be on a stock. And for crypto, those things don't exist. And so you have to look at their fundamental value. Basically is
We're going to do tech,
Yeah.
tokenomics. We're going to talk about, and I have bad handwriting, we're going to talk about the community support. These are things specifically a little more relevant to US. So what we're talking about is you going through the 1,000 tokens and coins that you could put money into, whether it's Bitcoin at the top or new ones coming out at the very bottom, and going, let me analyze these and make sure I'm not just putting money in because it's quote unquote the next cool thing to do. You got to know what you're doing. So Ben and William have a methodology, and we're going to share that with you. We're going to also talk about the developer community. You need to understand this. And then we're going to talk about the market cap and how to look at it. So take it away, guys. Why don't we start? Let's start with the token. Let's start with tokenomics.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, so tokenomics is something I'm obviously very familiar with because I advise a lot of different ICOs, and I've been on the founding team of an ICO myself. The tokenomics of a project are definitely one of the foremost issues that you'd look at. You know, what's like the issues we've been talking about earlier, like what's the distribution, you know, how many people are going to have this token, and also just how the token is going to function in general, like what's its utility going to be on a platform, what are the economics of that token going to be within the ecosystem.
Let's pick, and I want to pick one because I want this to be really practical. Let's take, we were talking about EOS. Okay. EOS is something that they're, at this point, bullish on, okay? And so let's do a fundamental analysis, EOS. If you go on coin market cap, you can find this coin. I'm going to pull it up here. Let's just do a real world analysis, and then you can apply this to whatever coin has caught your eye. Where should I do my, this is EOS. Okay, today EOS is at $8.89, EOS. What do we look at first when you're assessing the tokenomics?
I think you have to talk about what happened with Ethereum first and foremost.
Okay.
And you have to look at the fact that because they added the smart contract functionality when they released Ethereum, it had a whole bunch of potential use cases. But one of them this year has risen to the top and become the killer app for Ethereum, and that is fundraising on ERC20 compatible tokens and creating a trading pair with Ethereum that can be traded on a bunch of different exchanges. And that right now is driven the value of Ethereum almost single-handedly. Like, I don't know, 10, 20x this year? Who knows? It's gone up a lot. And EOS could potentially do the same thing, but on a broader scale. And
how do you research? If somebody's watching.
White papers, white papers, white papers.
Okay, so let's talk about, so in order to understand the tokenomics, you got to know how to research
First, read the Bitcoin white paper if you haven't read that.
Yeah, start with the Bitcoin white paper, and then before you read any other white paper.
So you need to, what's your favorite way to read a white paper? Do you print it out, bring it to breakfast with you and read it? Or
I like marking things up, so I like to print them out.
Yeah, we usually print them out. We usually do it in the middle of the night, to be honest with you. But we do a lot of things in the middle of the night.
And then you mark them up. Now, where do you go for somebody who's new to find the white paper?
Usually on whatever site is offering the ICO, it will be packaged like right next to where here's how I sign up and buy.
Download white paper.
Download white paper.
So if you go to EOS, you just Google EOS token, you'll find a link, white paper, you'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
How many pages are is the average white paper?
There's a wide range, but I'd say at least 25 and at most.
The Bitcoin one's about how long?
That one's shorter.
Yeah, that one's a little shorter.
I don't know, 12, 13 pages. I haven't read in a while, so I couldn't tell you the exact page number. But you know, it could even go above that. For more of the technical side, like I think IOTA's white paper was longer than that, so it could get longer.
So while you're reading this, let's just pull it up here. EOS white, what are you looking for? What's a good white paper say? and a bad
Well,
one.
first let's start with the bad. So,
Let's talk about the Zion coin versus an EOS. then.
okay, so when you're reading a bad white paper, if there's any spelling mistakes, problem.
Yeah.
If there's any, if they use the same phrase over and over and again to describe their technology and it's just a bunch of adjectives, that's a problem too.
Buzzwords also.
Buzzwords, next evolutionary blockchain for the future of the world.
If I hear that, no.
Decentralized games.
I think the biggest thing is if they promise you returns in their white paper, there's a chance they might get shut down. So if they're promising you returns, they're not talking about a utility for a unit of value in a software system.
Unless it's a security token.
If it is a security token, they're
Then you
talking
can
about
do
a
that.
security, you
Yeah.
can do that, but it's very different offering requirements.
Yeah, most of these coins are supposed to not be purchased just for the fact that you can maybe make money. You're supposed to be used for something. So you're looking, if they promise money, that's a bad sign. If there's too many cliches, like this is awesome new technology. If they misspell the word, technology.
Yeah.
What else so I'm here on EOS white paper.
And then I guess one of the other things is learned more over time is what other coins do. And if something sounds exactly like a coin that's already on the market, there's a chance that the investor community might feel the same way.
And then you have to say, what's the competitive edge?
Yeah, and typically, a lot of these coins are clones. You don't get 2,000 new ideas in a year for ways to change the crypto universe. You get like 5 or 6, and all the rest of them are copies.
So you got to be reading. So the point there is you need to read more than one.
Yeah.
If you only read one, you have no comparative value. So to do your fundamental analysis, tokenomics, you're looking, what this means, by the way, is basically the token. Most of these are utility tokens. Do the basic supposition, the hypothesis of this coin, does it make sense? For example, if there's a token, you read the white paper, and it says this token is going to be used by millions to learn how to do underwater basket weaving. Well, you could just use common sense to go, there's no economics there. There's no one going to take that coin. No one wants to do underwater basket weaving. A lot of these coins that are higher market cap, like XRP, like Ripple, is like banks will use this to change how they transfer money. That sounds like, okay, banks are transferring money a lot. At the core common sense, I'll add to this. I promise you, no matter how advanced you get, I didn't grow up in a rich family. I grew up in most of my teenage years in a mobile home. So I wasn't around people who had money. As I got older, I realized I thought that wealthy things that created wealth, would take super advanced new set of common sense. Then I found out this game never changes. It's still common sense.
Yeah.
If it sounds stupid, it probably is stupid. Yeah. So when you read this white paper, common sense is needed. Okay, so going back to I found you can see right here, the white paper. You go to eos.io. If you didn't know where to find it, you literally just go to...
That's their official website.
And EOS is actually an interesting example because if you're a U.S. resident, you actually can't invest in that one directly.
Yeah,
I see
but
it.
if we're pretending
You
here...
could buy it on the exchanges.
Yeah, but you
So
can buy
here
it
you
on
go,
exchange.
eos.io, technical white paper. So you just go to print. There's a button here. It's better to pull up, not on your phone, but you can pull it up and you just print it. And you can see there's disclaimers, messages with mandatory delay. But let's go here to background.
Background's going to talk a lot about Ethereum, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, sorry, let's go to the abstract part. Yeah. Because the abstract is kind of like the summary.
Yeah.
So you got your white paper. We can pull this up later and edit it in. I'm just going to read you guys this. The abstract here for this particular token. The EOS software introduces a new architecture designed to enable vertical and horizontal scaling. This is achieved by creating an operating system-like construct upon which applications can be built. The software provides accounts, authentication, databases, asynchronous communication, and the scheduling of applications across hundreds of CPU cores or clusters. The resulting technology is a blockchain architecture that scales to millions of transactions per second, eliminates user fees, and allows for quick and easy deployment. So what we could say here, the core thing it's saying
But this is what we're talking about, like you need a point of reference.
Yes.
Bitcoin probably has, 3,000 transactions per second, and Ethereum has 30,000, or 3,000, and this would
After
be 30,000.
Metropolis, Ethereum's faster. I don't remember exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
but EOS is an order of magnitude faster than anything else on the market if you believe that they will build what it says in the abstract. That's the upside, guys. The upside is faster is better. Why is faster better? Because right now, Bitcoin's blockchain is clogged, Ethereum's blockchain tends to be clogged on big days.
CryptoKitties.
And everything is going to get more and more and more users, especially when you stop talking about just, exchanges of value in terms of dollars and investing and spending power, and start talking about units of value in terms of all the information out there and how much more valuable it is if it's credible. So that's where EOS really stands out from the pack, is they're trying to throw so much horsepower at the problem that they can, in turn, create new economies in the ecosystem because they have so much extra bandwidth for transactions.
Yeah.
Let's pull up one more, just so we have another one. So if you go to Ripple white paper.
Well, Ripple's a little bit older, so it might not have had the same in-depth white paper that a lot of the ones today have.
Before you invest in Ripple, a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
You can see RippleNet delivers a single frictionless experience for global payments. Rather than a constellation of disparate technologies, RippleNet is a single global network of banks that send and receive payments. So right away, Ripple is about banks sending money. This one is about EOS is about fast transactions and other things. You're building on top of it. It's a protocol.
Yeah.
But you need to get familiar, and you should just go through the top 10 coins and read their white paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then go read one really bad one. Go scroll down to the outside the top 100 and see,
Go to the bottom coin. Go
and
read
feel good
Zion
about
Coin's
yourself,
white
because
paper.
if you go 100 coins down and somebody invested in it and lost money, go read the paper, see why they lost money, see why it didn't seem official.
Yeah.
Try to look for the bad as much as you look for the good.
All right, so that's about tokenomics. Let's move on. How do you analyze the tech? So this is, when you say tech, are you talking about the tech team usually, or are you talking about?
Both.
Look, it's one thing is trust. Is the team look like they're going to get the job done?
Okay.
Or does it look like they're promising too much and they have not enough experience? They don't have a grasp on it.
So what they're talking about, first thing, analyze the team. Maybe read up on what they've done before.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Like
that's
look at EOS. Like Dan Larimer.
So let's go to EOS, if you go in here.
CTO is David Moss, super bright.
So you go to EOS and just Google
Badass.
eosio.team. So here you can see EOS team and advisors.
Brandon.
And believe it or not, a lot of this is just literally using Google.
Yeah.
It's Google. So here we go. You have Brent, you can just see, this is this ICO bench. You can just see it's Brendan Bloomer as CEO, Daniel Larimer, CTO, Ian Grigg, Brock Pierce. So you got 4 people. So you can just start it here, just click in. Who is Dan Larimer? And you could just Google it. Dan Larimer.
He's been involved in a number of other
Yeah,
projects.
Steam it as well.
Visionary programmer of BitShares, Steam, and EOS. So this is his 3rd go-round.
Yeah.
So would you look for people who have got some experience?
There's very few like him,
There's
but
very
yeah.
few like him. There's, we're talking about the very top of the pile right now. Although, you could have bought EOS at 55 cents this year. So
What's it at, $8?
$7. It was at 10 yesterday. So
The team matters. Anything else you look for in the tech? Like, do you look
Yeah,
at
so
Unique tech. Is there
look,
unique
is it
tech?
unique tech? So that comes into the having a breadth of knowledge too. You have to be able to look at everything else that's out there, and if there's something that's exactly the same as this, even if they use different adjectives and words, if there's something that technically works the exact same way, the investors aren't going to fold, and it's probably not going to be a successful coin after ICO.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of, is there one website called researchtokens.com?
Google.
They're doing
.com.
ICO Watchdog is
Okay.
a company that's
ICO
coming out of
Watchdog is
science.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
So
Sean
check this
Newsom.
one out. That's out of science?
Yeah, it's Sean Newsom. I think they're actually one of the first science blockchain companies.
So if you go to ICO
Watchdog.
Watchdog, and let's just do it for this hypothetical. For EOS, we're going to go to ICO Watchdog on Google. And let's just see what it says about them. This is, all right. ICO Watchdog, real-time cryptocurrency market alerts. You can have it on, okay, here we go. Here's a whole article on Medium. You can just read some, and I suggest that you read the negative and the positive. One thing Charlie Munger, the billionaire, says, the partner of Warren Buffett, He said you should always be able to argue both sides of the equation. He said you should never take a position where you can't argue the other side better than they can argue. So you shouldn't be a Republican if you can't argue the Democrat side and vice versa. In the same way, you should be able to argue against EOS because that'll reveal, it's like trial by fire. If you put it to the fire and it still holds up, it's probably a good place to put your money.
I mean, EOS, it all comes down to, do they get it done by the day they said they were going to get it done? They're building a platform.
Too, yeah.
And from what I hear, they're ahead of schedule. But it's going to be one of those things. Coming up to that day, you'll see massive amounts of volume. People will be trying to guess. Did they get it done? Did they not get it done? And if they got it done, it's going to fly up. And if they didn't get it done, it's going to fly down. Yeah. And you got to kind of understand that, you're basically telling your community, and that's, I think, our next subject. You're telling your community you're going to do something. Your credibility is in if you do it.
Yep. So let's talk about that. We need to talk about the community support. What's that mean in general? Not necessarily about EOS or
I think it's dispersion. I think you want to have as many people who have your token as possible, or the right type of people. If the token, you don't want it to trade a lot, then you want the hodlers. If you want it to trade a lot, you want the traders. Yeah. If you want your token to fail, you'll give it all to one party.
So remember, what he's saying, when we talk about a community, we're talking about a community of people. A lot of people need to own this token.
And then also you have ones like where you want to have the next thing we were talking about, like developer community, right? Like you want, if you have a project that people are going to be buying the token so they can build something on your platform, right? Because Ether actually is used as like gas, right?
Yeah, and then
so you want to have people who are in your developer community or in your community in general who are going to want to build cool shit or cool stuff on your platform.
So Sense token that was launched by Crystal Rose, Brock's wife, they did a developer presale before their regular presale. And they basically created an app on GitHub that the more commits you had in the last year on your developer side, I think it was last year, the higher up in the queue it put you to buy into their developer presale. And they sold out of that really, really quickly. And I think it was kind of cool to see your GitHub usage actually doing something for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So developers out there, you might not be watching this, but we'll have a developer series at some point, right?
Yeah, definitely. Right? Developer series for this course?
For sure.
So
that's a whole nother.
Look, it all comes down to developer support. The reason that I like Bitcoin more than Bitcoin Cash right now is because there's more developers on
It's
it.
a core team, man. The Bitcoin core team, those guys are brilliant.
So you're looking at the community, and we'll kind of put community and the developer community too. So you want the token holder community, and you want the programmers, the people who actually, and a lot of them are getting paid in the token. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to quickly make some money and you speak 2 languages, go on to bitcointalk.org or .com, and there's people out there begging to translate your white papers for money or for your token.
There's some weird stuff on there.
Check it out.
Go deep, that's not a great way to sell it.
Yeah.
There's some very
that's where we get a lot of, that's where we find out a lot of coins are really bad.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
So is it basically
it's a forum. It's just a forum. It's a forum where you see people trying to go on there and defend their own coins in broken English, and you're like, okay.
So Bitcoin Talk.
I think
.org, right?
It's .org.
Yeah, .org. Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Yeah. So .org.
Yeah, that's where you go when you want to do a deep dive.
So that's a great research. Write that down. Yeah. Bitcoin Talk. You got to remember, it's not exactly like the New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange, there's existing analysts that work for a company. They go into a 9-to-5 job and they take one company like Apple and they analyze it, and it's public information, and you can just go read it and decide if you want to invest in Apple stock. This is not stock. Okay, this is technology that you're investing in, and so you need a whole bunch of nerdy people, a place, and this is a great website. So we gave you 2. The ICO Watchdog is website number 1, and bitcointalk.org. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about, let's talk about the market cap. When you're doing your analysis, you're looking at, the tokenomics, you're looking at the tech, the community support, the developer community. How do you analyze from a market cap, knowing how large the coin is? Does that come into a factor that you're...
Absolutely.
because there's elements to this. There's the price,
Well, it depends on how many are issued and what they're valued at, right? If there's a lot of coins issued and
there's volume.
Yeah.
This is a little, of course, starts to blend it more into the technical side. But what are you looking at? The overall market cap. Do you think the price matters at all? Like,
No, these things are fully fungible. And what I
no,
mean
but I'm
by
saying
that,
from a psychological standpoint.
yes. So depending on where you're seeing it, if you're seeing it on Coinbase and the price looks really low, that means a lot.
What does it mean to you? Let's
It
talk
means
about
that people who have the psychology and they don't understand how these coins really work might think that they can own a whole one and that there's some benefit and
Yes.
gravitas to that. So
Yeah, remember, it doesn't matter if you own a part. I'd rather own half of Bitcoin than, 1,000 Tron coins or something.
yeah,
all day.
Yeah,
That's
all
about
day.
the same.
I'd
right
rather
now.
own
Yeah.
0.0 whatever Bitcoin than 1,000 Tron coins. You can buy fractions of anything, really.
Like we have half. That's not the best analogy. I think what's Tron at?
Tron now is like a top market cap coin.
I know.
It took,
That would have been a good saying a
it
while
took
ago.
Stellar's place.
Oh no, Tron's still not great. It's yeah. So that did hold what I said. Yeah. So So you think smaller, or I shouldn't say smaller. I should say lower price coins. You think are maybe a little more unsophisticated people are interested in them?
depending on where they are. A lower price coin on Yobit or Bittrex isn't going to make a big deal for people because
But on like Coinbase, all these, we call them
Yeah.
gateway, your gateway.
if you're on Coinbase, you're on Gemini, and they add a new coin in, and that coin is significantly less expensive than the other coins that are being offered, there is a psychological impact where some people would like to own 4 of something than 0.4 of something.
Litecoin that happened.
Litecoin is a really good example.
But guys, I don't want, remember, you're in this paid program. Part of my promise to you is that I want to help you be more sophisticated than the average person. I beg you, when you go to your Coinbase, do not look at how many coins you own or fractions. Look at the amount at the top. Yeah. It says the value. It's better that
Don't
it
let
says
greed win you over.
yeah, but it's not even, it's dumb greed.
Yeah.
You can have smart greed.
Yeah.
So the overall price, lower price coins, possibly, just like in the stock market, penny stocks, sometimes they're more volatile.
Yeah.
Not always in crypto, but so pay attention to the price, pay attention to the overall market cap. Is there a threshold you go, oh man, this total market cap of this coin, what was the one you told me about?
$63 in daily trading volume with
Yeah.
a market cap of
We're gonna go-
$63,000.
$63,000.
Yeah, there's a point where it's just too small.
It's too small.
Look, don't go.
What's your threshold that you like to say?
If I'm running down CoinCap and I get up like in the 80s, I know
80
I'm
million
like,
or below is too-
No. 80 spots down.
Oh,
You're
80
way
spots
too
down.
far. I mean,
Yeah, let's look at coin market
You're
cap.
deep.
Let me see what is.
you're deep.
yeah, you're deep at that point. There's probably only 50 coins that are even worth looking at today.
Yeah.
So on coin market cap here, let's look what coin number 80 is. Yeah, it starts to get a little hairy eventually here.
Yeah.
Okay, coin number 80 is Economy.
Economy?
Economy.
Heard of it?
I think we know those guys, don't we?
It's trading.
I know the Economy
It's got a
guys.
200 million market
That
cap.
coin's legit. Not
Yeah,
80.
that's a good one.
But it's number
Maybe a
80,
little
so it's
further.
good.
That's pretty good. So I said as you get into
Let's
the
go to number
80s,
180.
or go to even to 100. You
Yeah.
should be out of the good ones by then.
Yeah, you have to go to the next page. All right, number 100, PayPal.
I've heard of PayPal, but I don't think it's a good one.
So let's just make, this is not an exact hard and fast rule, but try to stay in the 100 largest until you're extremely sophisticated market cap coins. So if you have to go to page 2,
There's a problem.
if you're trying to analyze,
We've gone too deep.
if you're on Particle, although it's crazy, it's still $110 million market cap.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember Bitcoin when it was like a $46 million market cap.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was 46 and now it's like 300 bill or whatever. Okay, so that's good. This is good, solid advice. When you're looking at market cap, are you being aware of any potential forks and wanting to buy it? Like, I mean, a lot of people are.
Well, like with the Bitcoin fork initially, like people were so scared of the fork, but I was telling all my friends, you're getting free money, dude. Just
Yeah,
hold
you
it.
got free money.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, I don't think,
Well, you should be
coin
scared.
number 100 is not forking.
Like a fork, like the DAO hack, right?
Yes.
With Ethereum, that fork was like kind of an ugly fork. It wasn't planned. It was like, this needs to be done, or the whole.
How can you tell
ecosystem's
when
at
you're
risk.
doing your fundamental analysis? How can you tell when it might be a hospitable?
If it's
Versus-
rushed, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so nasty, rushed, beware. This is a coin that might be trouble. if it's a hospitable and everyone's getting along and trying to do it for the greater good of mankind, that might be. What's a hospitable fork?
Bitcoin Cash. I mean, look, there's still conflict in it, but it's a hospitable fork because everybody should have made money if they did it
What
right.
about Litecoin?
It's never forked.
I thought it was kind of a soft off of Bitcoin.
Oh, it's well. Here's the thing. You got Litecoin and Bitcoin. They're two original guys, and then Litecoin and Bitcoin are. I think those are the two only like definitive languages. Yeah. And then everything else is based off of one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But wouldn't you say in a way? So EOS is not a fork necessarily from Ethereum, but it's kind of a hospitable another protocol between.
Yeah.
Do you think they're pretty hospitable? EOS versus Ethereum?
You're talking about all ERC20 tokens now, and I would say that they move in concert with each other to some degree. They usually gain on the same days, they usually lose on the same days. You kind of have that trading pair built in because of the ERC20. So a lot of those coins, their first trading pair is Ethereum. Yeah. So because of that, there's the people that are investing in altcoins that are on ERC20 are invested in Ethereum before that and are probably still investing in Ethereum.
And that's a lot of the money that they made to invest in ICOs is off of Ethereum in the beginning.
Yeah. Now let's talk about trading volume. What's kind of a minimum if something's trading below, like when we looked at coin number 110 here, which is the ADX.
Volume is everything for us. If the volume
that's what you
goes
care about
off
the
the
most.
Charts,
let's define off the charts. What is that?
If it doubles what its normal 24-hour volume is, if you're 2 times above that, that coin is about to fly or it's about to crash.
Yeah, one of the two. It depends on what the price action is looking like.
So this coin, I never heard of it, but ADX is $23 million volume out of 108 million market cap.
That's pretty good, actually.
So 20%, it's about 20%.
20 to 30 to 40%. Dude, that's great. For coin market caps versus coin volume, that's great.
So there's a ratio, okay? You look at the overall value of all the coins in today's dollar, and let's say this ADX, which is a random coin, is around a $100 million coin. If 23 million traded, that's about 23%.
That's healthy, man.
That's healthy. What is unhealthy? If 1% trade, like
Zion
1
coin,
million.
man. Zion coin, there you go.
That's too extreme.
Even anything, any of these coins that
Same
have
ratio.
too small volume, well, number one, that means is maybe it's not hot right now.
Yes.
And number two, what that means is maybe you won't be able to get out of your position.
Or maybe the project died long ago.
Remember, if you buy something and there's no trading volume and it goes up in value, it's worthless because you can't, if no one will buy from, it's like owning a house that you think's more valuable, but no one in the world wants to buy from you.
Yeah, anything is only worth what someone else is willing to pay you for.
Yes. So would you say 5% would be too low volume?
That would be anemic volume,
It's a little shady.
So let's look at some of the big coins. What's a coin moving a lot right now that you guys are watching?
Today?
Yeah, today.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, and XRP.
Let's look at maybe not quite as big as Bitcoin. Well, let's start with Bitcoin. Let's see what the volume. Bitcoin market cap's at 243 right now, and the trading volume's at 20. So it's at 10%, a little under 10%. Yeah. So this ADX is actually pretty healthy.
Yeah, well, but Bitcoin, you also have to realize it has some transactional difficulties.
Yes. So 10% Bitcoin is. Let's look at another one. Let's look at XRP. It's 44. Wait, did I do that right? My math idiotic here. I said. No, it's not. Yeah, it's 20 billion. Yeah, okay, I was right. XRP is a 44 bill coin, and it's at about 3.5. So that's roughly what, about 7?
It's just
about
under 10%.
Yeah, let's say a little under 8%.
And XRP is thinly traded too, and these are older coins. XRP and Bitcoin are towards the first generation of coins.
Do you consider that a slight problem?
No, not at all, because look, it just means that it's going to be slightly more volatile.
Here's one with volume, Litecoin.
Litecoin has super volume right now.
Look at this, Litecoin today is worth 15 bill is the market cap. And the ratio here, it traded 2.7 bill.
Yep.
So that's closer to 20%.
So in a Bitcoin, that's a lot.
And I still think Litecoin is undervalued, so I'm sure you have.
So when that happens,
Yeah.
so it's relatively a lot of volume by number, 2.7 billion, and the ratio is there at 20%. Do you start going,
That's when we start looking at something.
I may go buy some Litecoin when I get home.
because of this lesson, he's going to make a lot of money. Because he's a Virgo, and so he immediately went, wait a second. All the Virgos listening who like money. What's the highest volume you've ever, what's the highest volume traded coin right now? I wish you could do that.
by ratio.
Got to be Bitcoin in dollars,
Oh,
right?
in dollars, it's Bitcoin. In
Oh, I can do it. No, I know, but not in dollars, in freaking ratio.
Oh man, that's cool. Look on CoinMarketCap and then organize them by volume.
I know, but I did, but it's messed
Yeah, you
up
can't do the
because
ratio.
if you do, there's no ratio. I've decided, I think I'm gonna make a new website for mass consumers because this is a little bit
Do it, man.
discombobulated.
I'll help you. I'll
Like
help
you
you.
make a simple site, you literally click into it, you have one solid video by like the founder of the coin goes, here's what I'm trying to do. And then below it, it's like the current all important ratio. This market's so new that it hasn't been time to build
I'll
stuff
help you
right.
do it and I'll help you find money for it. Let me know.
We don't even need money. We'll make money on day one.
There you go.
And plus, we're not trying to make money. We'll do it for, it's not that, websites now. We're not 1994 Amazon where it's $100,000 to build a website. We can build a website for $1.
Some developers might tell you it'll cost them 100, but then they'll
Yeah.
pocket 99,000.
Yeah, that's what they want. We're going to raise 200 million. So any other little fundamental things you can think of that you look at?
I mean, look, so if you are on a more sophisticated platform, I mean, I guess this gets more into the
No,
technical
it's good.
trading.
Let's get into that. We'll
But
mention it for a second.
there's a 200-day moving average, which is kind of,
We're going to do another, they're coming back tomorrow to do a technical. So the 200-day moving average.
and if you're in a bull market, you're going to see the price bounce off the 200-day moving average, and it's going to, the other side of the bounce.
What do you mean for somebody listening?
So if you got a chart,
Yep, go ahead and draw.
he's good with the technical charts.
So you have a chart. My handwriting's terrible. So you have your
Also,
price.
You have to go.
Sorry, you have your price
William's
action.
blocking it.
So
There
little
we go.
candlesticks. This is horrible. Candlesticks, candlesticks, candlesticks. So you have your moving average, and this will just kind of bounce off this all day, right? That's a horrible drawing.
So that would be, so the 200-day moving average is basically a line that you're going to watch. And you're going to watch, the other line, you're going to watch the Bollinger Band. And there's one on the top and one on the bottom. And it's like, if it goes above the top Bollinger Band, that means it's oversold. If it goes under the bottom Bollinger Band, it means it's undersold. Right. So if the 200-day moving average is right here in the middle, like that, you're going to watch it bounce off this and go to that, bounce off this and go to that. And if you ever see it go above the top Bollinger Band, you're going to see it drop because that means it's oversold. So.
Yeah, we'll get into like the actual technical tools tomorrow, and I'll pull it up on the computer.
The reason
and
they
do
have to
screen
leave
share.
now and record this tomorrow is because Ben told somebody on Friday Bitcoin's gonna hit 12,000. They didn't believe him. Said, I'll throw you everybody a party if it hits 12,000. And he called it like a wizard. Yeah. So we'll be talking, stay tuned. Now you guys gotta come because now people are gonna be like, holy shit, I gotta hear this.
No, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Bollinger Band.
Yeah,
We're gonna
tomorrow.
get advanced. So-
Tomorrow we will film it.
To wrap up this lesson, leave a comment below. This is what I want you to do. Go grab a coin you're interested in, read the abstract on it in the white paper, just the little 2 paragraphs, and leave a summary of it. You can cut and paste it if you want, but try to leave a little summary. If I was leaving a summary of EOS, I'd be like, a new platform like Ethereum that's going to be fast. And I know that's not great, but it's a start if you're a beginner.
It's a good idea, Ty. Yeah, it's something to get in the habit of, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always found a simple, organized pattern. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS. Even at the highest level, George Soros, who's made a pretty penny, made $1 billion in one day. He had this, when he would talk to the media, they'd be like, how do you decide when to trade? And he'd have this technical conversation. And his son wrote an article that said, my dad's bullshitting all of you. If he gets a backache, he sells because he has like this intuition that's literally. So my point is, keep it simple. You gotta go, it's part math, but it's part, gut feeling. And you gotta train both of those. So don't ever get too complicated. If somebody's coin, you boil it down to this coin will help you, clean your toenails. It's not a high volume coin. Keep it simple. So leave a keep it simple, stupid explanation of your coin. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. We'll be back
See
tomorrow.
you back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have fun at the party.
Yeah. They're gonna carry him around like a god.
All right, talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you soon.